So welcome back to the third part of the sequential circuits. In this part, we will discuss about the different types of flip-flops. SR flip-flop, JK flip-flop, T flip-flop, G flip-flop and so on. So first we will see the SR flip-flop. So in this figure shows the logic symbol and the truth table of a positive age-triggered SR flip-flop. You can see positive age-triggered flip-flop means when the state transition will occur when the positive age, the clock transition, the clock is getting, the transition of the clock pulse is occurring when it is changing its state from 0 to 1 or low to high. Okay, so this is represented by this triangular symbol. So the S and R inputs of the SR flip-flop are called the synchronous control inputs because data on these inputs affect the flip-flop's output only when the triggering or the positive going age of the clock pulse appears. Without any clock pulse, the S and R inputs cannot affect the output. Okay, when S is high, R is low, the Q output, the Q output goes to high. It will follow the S, what I already told, on the positive age of the clock pulse, and the flip-flop will be set. So if it is already in the set state, it remains in the set state. Okay, when this S is low and R is high, this Q output goes to low at the positive going age of the clock pulse and the flip-flop will be reset, that is cleared. If it is already in the reset state, it remains in the reset. When both of these S and R are low, the output doesn't change from its prior state. If it is in the set state, it remains in the set state, and if it is in the reset state, it remains in the reset state. When both S and R are high simultaneously, we have already seen an invalid condition exists. So the basic operation you can see here, it is described in the truth table. All right. So what we can see here, this arrow, up arrow means clock signal is high. When both S and R are 0, so whatever be the present state, next state will be same, no change. Okay, because I haven't applied any input. Okay, now when S is 0, R is 1, what the next state, this Qn plus 1, the next state will follow, the output will follow the S. What is the state of the S, output will follow that. Okay, so even if the present state is 0 or 1, output will simply follow S. So again, if the S is 1, R is 0, whatever be the Qn, present state, Qn plus 1 will simply follow the state of S. And if both are 1, whatever be the present state, output next state will be unpredictable. Now if clock signal is 0, input is not predictable, then no change will be observed in the next state. Okay, whatever will be the present state, same will be the next state. So this is the positive age triggered SR flip-flop. That means the flip-flop will get triggered whenever a positive going age of the clock pulse is applied to this flip-flop. Okay, now if you notice the timing diagram of this SR flip-flop, this is your clock signal, positive age triggered clock signal. That means state transition will occur whenever the positive clock pulse appears. Okay, this is my input waveform, this is the state of the, this is my input waveforms, this is the state of the S, this is the state of the R, this is the Q state, normal output state, and this is the inverted state of the output. So initially, when both S and R 0, Q is assumed to be high. You can see here, when both S0 and R0, this Q is assumed to be high. Okay, so at the positive going transition edge of the first clock pulse, so first clock pulse is appearing at point A. Okay, and at this point both S and R are low, right? So no change takes place. This Q will, the output will remain in the high state, and this inverted output Q bar will remain in the low state. At the leading edge of the second clock pulse, that is at point B, you can see the set is S is 0 and R is 1. So the flip-flop resets because the flip-flop will follow the state of the S. So in this case, this Q goes low and this Q bar will go high. At the positive going edge of the third clock pulse, that is at point C, what is happening? S is 1 and R is 0. So the flip-flop will follow the state of the S and the flip-flop will set. So the Q goes high, right? So this Q will go high and Q bar, it will go low. At the rising edge of the fourth clock pulse at point D, what happens? You can see S is 1 and R is 0. Since the flip-flop is already in the set state, right? So it will remain in the set state. That is, Q remains high and Q bar will remain low. Now the fifth pulse, it resets the flip-flop at the positive going edge, because when the flip-flop fifth clock pulse appears, the set signal becomes 0 and reset signal becomes 1. And what will happen is the input condition and Q equals to 1 at that time. If S is again 0 and R is 1, that means Q will be 0, right? So the sixth clock pulse, it sets the flip-flop at its rising edge because S1 and R0 at the input condition and Q equals to 0 at that time. Now we will move on to the D flip-flop. So what is a D flip-flop? The edge triggered, we are discussing the edge triggered flip-flops over here, mainly the positive edge triggered flip-flops. So the edge triggered D flip-flop has only one input terminal. You can see only one input terminal. The D flip-flop may be obtained from the SR flip-flop by just putting an inverter. You can see it is same as the SR flip-flop, only we have put an inverter between the S and the R terminal, right? So the output Q will go to the same state that is present on the D input at the positive going transition of the clock pulse. So in other words, we can say the level present at D will be stored in the flip-flop at the instant the positive going transition occurs. So that is, if D is 1, then and if you apply the clock signal, then this Q, it goes to 1 and Q bar will be 0 at the rising edge of the clock pulse, and thereafter it will remain so. If D is 0 and the clock signal is applied, Q goes to 0 and Q bar goes to 1 at the rising edge of the clock pulse, and thereafter remains so. That means the output Q, it will simply follow the state of the D. Whatever input you are applying, it will follow the state of the D. Okay. Now this is the internal circuit diagram of the edge triggered flip-flop. Okay. So when the clock signal, when this clock signal is low, the D input, this D input has no effect. Okay, since the set and the reset inputs of the NAND gate, NAND flip-flops are kept high. Okay, when the clock signal, it goes high, the Q output, it will take the value of the D input. Okay. Now, when the clock signal is high and this D is 1, the NAND gate, first NAND gate output will be 0. So, this NAND gate output will be 0, right? Which is the S bar input of the basic NAND based SR flip-flop, and these NAND gate output, second NAND gate output goes to 1, which is the R bar input of the basic NAND based SR flip-flop. Okay, so therefore for S bar 0 and R bar 1, what will happen? The flip-flop output will be 1. That is, it follows the D input. Similarly, when the clock is 1 and D is 0, the flip-flop output will be 0. Okay. So, if D changes while the clock is high, Q will follow and change automatically. When that means, in one word, when the clock signal is high, output will simply follow the D input. Okay. Now, if you notice over here, if we see the D flip-flop truth table, what happens over here? You can see when the clock, this is the truth table of the D flip-flop, right? So this is the, when the clock signal is high, when the D input is 0, the present state is 0, next state will also be 0. Okay, when D is 0, when the present state is 1, next state will be 0. It will simply follow the Q will simply follow the D input. Okay, now when D is 1, present state is 0, this next state will follow D. When D is 1, present state is 1, Qn plus 1, next state will follow D. That means whatever be the state of the input, whenever the clock signal is high, this output will follow the D input. If D is 1, this Q will be 1. If D is 0, this Q will be 0, provided the clock pulse should be high. Okay, now if the clock pulse is 0, if you can't predict the input of at the D, whatever the present state, next state will be same. So no change in the state will be occurring. Okay, so next type of flip-flop we have is the edge trigger T flip-flop. This is also called the toggle flip-flop. Okay, so in this this toggle flip-flop, we can also, there is a flip-flop called JK flip-flop. So we can also get the toggle flip-flop if we connect both the J and K together, we can, and apply input, then we can get the toggle flip-flop also. So this T flip-flop has a only single controlled input and it is level T for toggle. Okay, when this T is high, the flip-flop toggles on every new clock pulse. This is very important. When this T is low, the flip-flop remains in whatever state it was before. Although these T flip-flops are not widely available commercially, it is very used to convert a JK flip-flop to the functional equivalent to the T flip-flop by just connecting its input J and the K together and leveling the common connection as T. Okay, so when T is 1, we have, if T is 1 means we have both J and K 1, because we have tied the two inputs together, right? And the flip-flop will toggle. Toggle will means it will change the state. Okay, so if it is in one state, then it will give the previously, if T is 1, it will toggle, it will give the 0 state. Okay, when T is 0, we have J and K both are 0, and so there is no change in the state. So this logic symbol and the truth table of the T flip-flop you can see over here. So what we can see here, in this toggle T flip-flop, when if my Q is 0, So in this T flip-flop, what is happening? If my T is 0, okay, and if the clock pulse is high, and if the present state is 0, whatever be the present state, that will be the next state, because my T is 0, so no change in the state will occur. Now when the clock pulse is high, when T is 1, present state is 0, then what will happen? When T is 1, present state is 0, what will happen? The next state will be 0. Okay, if T is 1, present state is 1, next state will be 0, because it will simply toggle. If T is 1, present state is 0, that means next state will be 1. Okay, it will simply toggle. T is 1, present state is 0, so next state will be 1, because present state 0 means next state will be 1. So T is 1, if present state 1 means next state will be 0. Whenever T is 1, then only this Qn plus 1 next state will toggle with respect to the present state. When clock pulse is 0, T input can't be predicted. Whatever be the present state, that will be my next state. So it can't be predicted. Okay, you can't predict it. Now, so we will move on to our next flip-flop, which is called the JK flip-flop. So this JK flip-flop, it has a characteristic similar to the SR flip-flop. So in addition, the intermediate condition that we have seen, the forbidden state in the SR flip-flop, it is permitted in it. Inputs J and K here, they behave like the S and R inputs, like to set and reset the flip-flop. When J and K both are 1, the flip-flop will toggle and switches to its complementary state. Okay, so if Q equals to complementary state, means if J and K both are 1, if Q is 0, it will switch to the 1 state, and vice versa. Okay, so if you notice, the this is the JK flip-flop, and if you see the truth table, when the clock signal is high, when both J and K are 0, no change in the state takes place. Okay, even if the clock pulse is applied, whatever be the present state, that will be your next state. When J is 0, K is 1, you can say when J is 0, K is 1, so this next state will follow the J state. In SR flip-flop, it used to follow the S state. So in JK flip-flop, this next state will follow the J state. Okay, so J is 0, Qn plus 1 will be 0. Here J is 0, Qn plus 1 will be 0. So it will reset the positive going edge of the clock pulse. When J is 1, K is 0. So Qn plus 1, it will follow the state of the J. So J is 1, Qn plus 1 will be 1. The flip-flop sets at the positive going edge of the clock pulse. When J and K both are 1, now your flip-flop will toggle. Now whatever is the present state, exactly complementary state you will get. If Qn plus 1 is 0, you will get next state as 1. If Qn is 1, Qn plus 1, you will get the 0. Your flip-flop will toggle. Okay, so that means it goes to the opposite state of the positive going edge of the clock pulse. So in this mode, the flip-flop toggles or changes state for each occurrence of the positive going edge of the clock pulse. Now here we have considered a positive edge triggered flip-flop. A negative edge triggered flip-flop will be simply a bubble connected to this triangle. Okay, so it will same as a positive edge triggered flip-flop, except that the change of the state, it will take place at the negative going edge of the clock pulse. Okay, so and in the truth table, if it is a negative edge triggered JK flip-flop, the arrows will point downwards. Okay, now if we see the internal circuit diagram of this JK flip-flop, if my first you consider this output Q is 0 and Q bar is 1, okay, and J and K both are 1. So when you are applying the clock signal, the narrow positive pulse of the edge detector is inverted by this gate G1, that is G1, it steers the spike inverted because its other inputs J and this Q bar, J and Q bar, they are both 1. J and Q bar both 1, right? To get this gate G3. So the output of G3, that means this Q, it goes to high. Since Q is connected as one of the input to this G2, the output of G2 remains high because initially Q was 0, right? So G4, it has both inputs as 1, okay? So it output Q bar will be 0, alright? Now if you consider Q is 1 and Q bar is 0, J and K both are 1. So when you are applying a clock pulse, the narrow positive pulse, the narrow positive spike at this G2 is steered, that means inverted to the input G4, okay. So the output of G4, that means this Q bar will go to the high. Since the output of this G1 is high because initially this Q bar was 0, right? Both the inputs of this G3 are high. So the output of G3, this Q will be low. So we can say that if a clock pulse is applied and when both these J and K are 1, the flip-flop toggles, that is, it changes its state. Alright. Now we will see the timing diagram. Previously we have seen the positive edge triggered clock JK flip-flop. Now if we see the timing diagram of a negative edge triggered JK flip-flop, this is the clock signal, this is the state of the J, this is the state of the K, and this is your output. You can notice here we are applying the negative edge triggered clock signal. That means your flip-flop will get triggered whenever a negative edge triggered clock signal appears. So initially both J0 and K0 and the clock signal is 0. So we can assume that the initial state of the flip-flop is 1. That means Q equals to 1 is initially. This is the initial state. So at the negative going edge of the first clock pulse, that is at point A, J is 1 and K is 0. So the Q will remain as a 1 and so therefore the Q bar will be 0. Right? Now at the trailing edge of the next clock pulse at point B, J will be 0 and K will be 1. So the flip-flop resets. So this Q output goes to 0 and Q bar will be 1 because it will follow simply the state of the J. At the falling edge of the third clock pulse at point C, both you can see J and K are 1. Okay, so the flip-flop will toggle. Okay, the flip-flop will toggle. That means now this Q will change its state from 0 to 1. Okay, and Q bar will show change its state from 1 to 0. At the negative going edge of the fourth clock pulse, that means at point D, you can see J is 0 and K is 1. So now flip-flop will reset. That means now Q will go to 0 from 1 to 0 and Q bar will go to 1. At the negative going edge of the fifth clock pulse, so at the negative going edge of the fifth clock pulse at point E, what will happen? You can see J is 0 and K is 1. So the flip-flop will remain reset. So Q remains as 0 and Q bar remains as 1.